effectively navigate it yet. So I think a lot of people would probably be fine with them just banning it, but we'll see if that's what they opt to go for. Ultimately, if D+ gets Ziggs again, T1 have made a massive mistake.
Yep. I just took a glance at Twitch chat, by the way, and someone said that Dagon looks like a rich extra on the Hunger Games, and I just thought that was absolutely beautiful. It's like one of my favorite things that I've heard. Sorry to just completely go off topic for 1 second. He does though, right?
He has that vibe.
It's the hair color as well. Yeah. Oh my God, it's just perfect. Whoever said that, you're my absolute GOAT of today. Already we're seeing the bans come through very similarly to last time around. It is D+ now that do have to drop a ban for the Rumble, and we'll see what is going to be dropped. As last time it was Nasus that was taken away on the blue side. This time, I assume this last ban will go to the Azir. So we'll just have to see where the pivots are going to come through. So far, LeBlanc and Smolder, they both had to be banned, but then the Rumble also had to be banned for T1. So this is their flex ban that they get right now.
Yeah, and I think Ziggs is just a safe ban take here. Maybe they go for the Vi instead.
Maybe even Maokai, but Vi going to be the ban, okay.
And now here's the thing with D+ in this situation. You can obviously ban like the Azir or the Nasus, but you could also try and secure yourself Ziggs by, like, if you leave Azir open and T1 take it, you get Ziggs. If you leave Azir open and T1 take Ziggs, then you get Azir. So maybe they might decide to ban something else and make T1 pay for whatever they first pick. I think could be the strategy here. So they ban the Jhin.
Yeah, I love this. Throw it all away.
Yeah, and now T1, yes, they get choice, but they only get one pick. And they're going to go for the Ziggs. So now, if D+ want to take the Azir, they can.
But they could also just go as hard into as many dive picks that they can possibly find. We saw Hummerlife Esports, that was how they dissected these Ziggs compositions. And I think the first thing that they need to address is the Kai'Sa. Get that for aiming. It's one of his best champions of all time. Maokai, another one that Lucid hasn't lost on. Certainly a team that can set up around the Maokai very, very effectively. And D+ going to take that one away. I'm just hoping we don't see, like, Corki here, because I think that there are some other things that can really... okay, this one's could also be an option, and that's going to be the Nasus locked in. Some Susan time here from Showmaker in the mid lane.
Yeah, we get Sejuani. It's probably just going to be Sejuani Azir in this situation for T1. We've seen Azir, you know, not have necessarily the best type. Maybe it's... I mean, could just be the Garen, you know, the counter pick.
Oh, do it!
Sejuani Garen as well. You actually have a melee champion in the mid jungle. No, it's gonna be cool.
Okay. And then it'll be Vayne top. And then it'll be the saddest Sejuani ever.
Yeah, less interesting, but a lot of poke, a lot of late game power. And this could be difficult for the Nasus in the late stage of the game. Trying to get on top of them. They're looking at the Seraphine.
Or the Xerath.
You know, we've seen a lot of Mage's bot being played. And the thing is, they could just flex this Nasus up to top lane. Looks like for now they will go for the Ezreal for aiming. So, not the easiest target to lock down, and as a result, not the easiest target to hit with like a Ziggs ult. But I still think the lane's pretty fine for the Ziggs in the bot lane.
I remember
Nasus open as a flex though.
There was a certain amount of analysis that was done on Reddit where they did say that, you know, you can't play Ziggs into Ezreal and Kai'Sa. They also said you couldn't play it into Xayah though, so I'm very confused as to which part of this information we need to actually be taking on board.
Crazy that we're seeing Ziggs first pick when Xayah's open available.
I know, it's nuts, right? And no one even sees that it's an opportunity. As Kennen going to be taken away here, the Leona. A lot of respect over to Moham. You love to see it. And we'll see what is further going to be removed here as we get through the next round of bans. Still a lot of things up and available.
Yeah, I think D+ really wants something that can lead the charge in terms of... I mean, obviously the Maokai can set up, but, you know, maybe even the Rakan would be okay in this situation. So maybe that could be banned away by T1. But it'll probably just be the Rel. I think you just deny the Rel because Moham's been so good on it. And we'll see what D+ up to ban in this situation. They're going to keep targeting top lane.
Moham just did not make a choice in time.
You know, he's new to the LCK.
He might have a lot of like snap decision-making skills when it comes to in-game.
Yeah.
In draft, though, not quite there. Maybe that was just because the rest of the team weren't giving him the information that they needed.
It definitely wasn't based on the reaction, but maybe he's like, look, if we ban something, that's one less champion that isn't Rel for them to ban.
Oh.
He's like, minimize the chances of them banning Rel. No, I think it was just a mistake, unfortunately. And now in this situation, the Nasus has a flex, likely mid, but we don't know that for sure. They could just take support here. It could just be something like the Rel, could just be the Rakan. We'll see what they opt to go for. If they opt to go for top lane here and blind something for Kingin.
Or just blind some sort of hook champion. Instead, it's going to be the anchor to come in for Moham with the Nautilus lock-in.
For a second, it was looking like the Maokai Blitzcrank we've seen Gen G play.
Yeah.
But, you know, Moham has been fantastic on Rel. Lehens is that guy on Blitzcrank.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I'm not sure how convinced I would be by that. They end up going for the Nautilus. I think one of the problems with playing Nautilus in this situation is now T1 are going for Sejuani Alistair potentially. This is a very thick front line. It's going to be hard to hook onto the backline targets. And into Corki Ziggs, you just get mangled as a Nautilus. Like, the tankiness of the front line of the engages of D+ is so much less than the engages on T1, but they do have that Nasus to kind of bolster things. Now the T1 looking potentially for a top lane pick.
The blind Vayne would be an interesting one.
I'm not convinced. I actually like the Camille a lot.
Yeah, me too.
A big reason is, you know, talking about the Ezreal being a safe pick, hard to lock down to hit the Ziggs ult. There is a champion who can lock an Ezreal down no matter what and ensure that he eats the Ziggs ult, and that is Camille. So Aiming going to have potentially some issues to deal with that one. And now, considering picking up the Zeri in the situation, which I guess would mean moving the Nasus towards the top lane. Nope, they're going to keep the Nasus mid and go for GP into Camille. And Kingin has been pretty solid in the GP.
Yep.
But definitely not a pick that we see too often.
You can certainly, mitigate the hookshot quite well by eating oranges, but you can't really get out of the Hextech ultimatum. You can't eat your way to freedom there.
Yeah.
So this could be a difficult time for the Gangplank. They do a lot of damage, though.
I'm not super convinced by D+ composition, and not just because T1 have Ziggs, but I feel like T1 have a lot of setup, have the Camille to help the dive, they have the follow-up from the Ziggs. Ziggs Corki, great damage threats, and they can also play for towers. On the side of D+, I'm concerned about the durability of the Nautilus in this composition. The Nasus, you know, I don't think this is the sort of composition where he's massively going to excel. Alistair is so annoying for a Nasus because you just get to a target, you wither them, and you get knocked away. You get back to the top, you get pulverized. It's a constant issue. So we'll have to see. D+ obviously have a point already in the series. This is T1 side selection, so expectation is they'll come out of draft better. But I think they definitely have an edge here. And D+, we'll see what they could do. They do have some big mid-game spikes. I think that's the main thing I would lean on. The Ezreal, the Gangplank, and the Nasus will be very strong at that point, so we'll see what they can do there.
Yep, the Maokai also helping out on top of that, but it's Camille Sejuani, a lot of permafrost synergy on the top side of the map, and it is a much more comfort pick for Owner as well, moving into Game 2. I have a feeling we're heading towards 1-1. We'll see what happens, though, as we jump to the Rift for Game 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on the Rift for the second game of the series. And it feels like whenever a team gets onto red side, they're like, let's just cook something up and see what happens. That's what we're seeing here. Once again, we've got a lot of melee champions and an Ezreal on the side of D+. This time around, I think it's not quite as crazy as what we saw on T1 side with their experience draft that they went for. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the Gangplank is going to do. Can be pretty rough against the Camille, especially if she starts to get rolling.
And I think you can easily make a comparison to the HLE Gen G draft, where HLE got a massive lead but had no damage with like Azir as the only threat. A draft like that, even if you get a big lead, can lose. A draft like D+, if they get a big lead, they can still 100% win this game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like a draft that means, oh, it's unwinnable. I don't want anyone to read into what we're saying as that. It just will become hard, especially if they fall behind. But they do have tools to try and get an early advantage, and we'll see if they can lean into that. For now, though, we're not getting lane swap shenanigans, which, you know, when you have Camille against Gangplank, I don't think it'd be appropriate to lane swap, you know?
I would agree. Showmaker is struggling here into the Corki. Of course, you can't really kill the backline minions with your Spirit Fire just yet. Need a few points into that one. Well, that can happen. And so going to be a little bit of a struggle here for the Susan in the earlier stages of the game.
And a concern I do have is, obviously last time Guma played Ziggs, it didn't go so well. But he's also not using pool party Ziggs.
Oh, true. He does have the little wizard. I mean, I think this is kind of like second best. I feel like it's the hipster's choice, as Hook going to come through here from Moham. Tries to get the aftershock damage there as well.
Thematically, you know, Carrier's got the Hextech Alistair.
Yeah, right.
Very Hextech-y vibe from the Arcane Ziggs.
Got a bit of an Annie and Tibbers vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a bit of synergy there, but you know, I guess we can maybe blame the fact there isn't a pool party Alistair skin yet.
Oh, why don't we get, you know,
why doesn't
like
every champion have a pool party skin? We can agree it's the best skin line.
I know, I 100%. I still think, what's the best animation that a pool party skin has? Because I have one in mind, and I wonder whether it's the same.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
I think it's the Renekton back animation.
Oh, you know, when that came out, I got that skin, and I was just in lane, you just spam.
Yeah, right. You just bounce up and down. Oh, man.
Right, you're completely right. That is...
It's so good. No one uses that skin anymore. Makes me very sad.
It's sad, honestly. We should return to our roots and rediscover, especially with how much Renekton we have.
I
know. You know what? I'm going to say it. I would not mind B1 Renekton, R5 Renekton, if you play that skin.
If you're going to play that skin.
You can be 0-3, you can be down 30 CS, the game is lost, but you spam that emote.
Imagine if Perfect had have done it.
Yeah.
Like even one of the games.
Into the vein. When he's not getting any farm.
He's just popping up and down onto the chair.
That's how you should play League of Legends, let's be honest. Oh.
It's gorgeous, as Faker is going to be able to make it back.
I love
the
how
activation time of the saplings, not quite good enough.
Ono was like ready to block it, even though he can't, but you know, the thought was there. And I think that's the thing you have to appreciate.
All right, well, kinging up here towards the top side, just trying to hold on as best he can. Actually doing a pretty good job, as we can see. Only missed a few CS in the first wave or two. And the more barrels you can find, the better time you're going to have. Like, honestly, already, like, stacking up this grasp. Zeus doing the same thing. Getting the physical shield, though, of course, does make trading very difficult, as Moham making his way over, finds the max range hook onto Faker here. Also tanks up a turret shot. Does have the aftershock there.
You know, it's one of those situations where, like, Moham lands a hook, but it's like they're never ever killing Faker.
There's just not a lot of damage.
You know, Showmaker walks up to him and cues him, and it's like, okay. And then Faker just trades back, and they end up at even health. So, what did it? You know, I'm not saying he shouldn't have gone for it. It's just, it's one of those funny situations where, you know.
Bit of an and what situation.
Yeah. Showmaker obviously has a sustain on his passive that does scale up as the game goes, but particularly with the fact that the Nasus will put more points in E early, it's not huge early on. But there is some damage being done to Faker. Now Moham's like, I can do a return gank, but Carrier's here to cover, so not really going to get too much of an opportunity.
Yep.
And it looks like just Carrier's here to give Faker some safety so he can escort the wave in.
He's going to try and push this one out. Spirit Fire for Showmaker going to be able to help at least even things. And so just going to be an equalized wave state. Also pretty equal as far as the farm is concerned as well. Only 200 gold in it between these two squads. Kind of nice to not have any lane swaps, as Moham just wanders through. And is now looking to set up for a bit of a grubs play here, perhaps. There's no teleport on either mid laner, and Faker going down lower and lower might mean that DK are in a pretty good spot to try and go for some of these grubs right now.
Yeah, this is the point where Showmaker's got a few points in E and starting to do a lot of damage to Faker, so he can't really match up. Showmaker hitting 6 as well, and you can see from how T1 are moving, they're like, cool, we can't contest this, we're opting out. And that also means a bit more freedom to Kingen, who's been struggling a bit in this matchup, down 10 CS, and now Zeus has to play a bit more careful, can't really push up as much when the wave's so close to the tower. So. I think
Showmaker also just got Angry Desert, so he's feeling pretty good. Now has that added tool to give him the extra health. Yeah. That's what it's called, I'm pretty sure.
Something on
that. Anyway.
That has to be it. It's the best name, so why wouldn't it be? It is going to be Hextech Drake first. The stats are pretty nice on a lot of the champions on T1, but it does mean you're worried about it being a bad soul, but then it's a Chemtech Dragon next, so you're like, oh, well, I guess it can't be the worst soul.
Hey, true. There you go. And we can't have any Orc Susture in today's game, or at least not yet. So that is certainly good. You're
Hold
saved for another game. And Kingen feeling pretty saved as well up here towards his top side. Whoa! Okay. Moham just going to be pressing that flash button. Gumyushi just going to do the walk.
Yep, the satchel as well. You know, one of the things I think really helped Ziggs out in talking about like long-term to be more relevant as a champion is they increased like the knockback distance on his satchel. And it feels like, you know, before it was like a, you know, you created a bit of space, but it was kind of like not the biggest amount of disengage. But now the distance you get, you feel like you're competing. You know, you feel like you could be in the decathlon with the amount.
You all of a sudden feel like Ness from Smash Brothers. You know, hitting yourself with your up B feels fantastic.
And able to burn Moham's flash on that as well. So pretty big that Uma was able to safely disengage from that. And that's one thing with the Ziggs as well. Side lane.
Yeah, Cannon Barrage going to come down here from Kingen. There are a lot of minions, but I think he's still a lot of dead. Zeus possibly dead. No, okay. Not enough damage on the trial by fire there. Was looking dicey for a moment, but they do manage to get it. The Sejuani and the Camille doing what they're supposed to.
Such a powerful combo when it comes to ganks, and Kingen does everything he can, but the wave gets picked up by Zeus. The healing from the W and the passive shield really helping to give that durability so he survives up against Kingen. We'll see a replay off that. And so there is risk here with it being a big wave, and Zeus also missing the stun, but they're able to navigate it regardless. And here the W from Zeus, I think, helping to keep him safe from that burn from the passive. Yeah. Just a good gank timing from Ona. Lucid was actually on the top side of the map at that point, but just wasn't quite close enough to make something happen. And definitely, this Camille getting the lead is a big win con for T1.
Really is. D+ were able to get the grubs, so there is that. Trading it for the Drake this time around, though. So T1 still just trying to kill as many dragons as they possibly can. The 2 tech varieties now up and available on the Rift. 2.5 minutes until the second one's going to be there. As Showmaker possibly face-checking here. Hextech Ultimatum comes down. Fury of the Sands going to be used here, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough to keep him alive, and Showmaker just kind of giving it up. That is going to be another kill going over to Zeus as well. And we mentioned if the Camille can get going, things are going to be rough, and the Camille is going.
Yeah, and honestly, this is something that I've missed so much, because when Camille was in the meta, you'd get top laners who'd get a lead, but would be so smart about finding opportunities to roam on the map, and particularly paired up with the Sejuani. Moving down towards mid, Showmaker's trying to establish some vision control, and then falls prey to the trap. And when it is a Camille, there's just no way you're getting out. You know, Showmaker obviously doesn't get an opportunity to be in Flash, does be in the ult to see if he can do anything, but 3 members against 1, no chance of a turnaround. And, you know, that earlier control ward allowing this to be set up, because the owner was channeling the recall, the slow hits, immediate ult, so that Showmaker, because if you go for the stun, he can flash the stun. Obviously, you can't flash the ult once it's been cast, and the follow-up is there immediately. Good job there from T1.
Yep, really nicely played. Not end of the world or anything like that, only 1,000 gold, but this is going to put a dampener in that mid-game that you were talking about, right? D+ wanting to play around that extra power, and Kingen, this lane has gone from bad to really, really, really bad.
Yeah, and I think also when you think about the engaged champs in T1, Alistair can really struggle with Ezreal because your range on your engage isn't that high, and he can arcane shift buffer it. Sejuani can really struggle into GP because he has the oranges cleanse. Camille is so fantastic at engaging, but if you're behind, you're just going to get blown up. If you're ahead, it's a completely different ball game. So specifically Zeus being ahead, it's going to make those team fights a lot easier if they get to that point. And now with the strength that Zeus has, they feel comfortable to set up for these grubs. And I think with Lucid just recalling that they'll likely pick up 3. It's about 45 seconds on the Dragon, so D+ could move towards bot and set up for that. You can see Moham already establishing some really good vision control, but I think T1, they've already got Dragon 1. I think they're fine to sacrifice it if they need to.
I think so too, especially if Gumyushi can stay alive, as Moham will be able to clear away some of the vision. No one else making their way down. Oh, I'm sort of trapped in the minefield right now.
Oh man, he's taking a lot of damage. Luden's already completed for Guma, and I love that he's rushing the Ludens. You know, didn't go the tier, and it means that spike comes so much sooner. And obviously Ziggs is a champion with a ton of wave clear, but it's like when you give a wave clear champion a shiv, it just amps it up, so now his Qs are just decimating waves. It means when they're trying to apply pressure on the bot lane, they just never get a chance. The wave's gone immediately. And even with that, you know, reset timings come in from D+. T1 get to the Dragon first, so D+ might be cut out from both objectives if they don't get here quick.
Yeah, Faker already over here. You can see Showmaker just dealing with the wave. He is going to be able to push that one in. Lucid in position. Glacial Prison just going to zone him away. Nature's Grasp does come down. But Carrier, he can eat that CC. And it's an Infernal Soul this game. T1 already with 2 Drakes in pocket.
And look at the pressure Zeus has on Kingen. This is important because Zeus TP top. Kingen has his Cannon Barrage, he has TP advantage, and Zeus refused to let him have any space, refused to let him TP in, refused for that to be a 5v4 on the bot side. So T1, 2 Dragons in pocket, Infernal Soul, everything going right for them this game.
Yep, this is much better. Even the type of Drake that they have is better as well. So being able to move towards an Infernal Soul is absolutely a win condition moving towards the later stages of the game. Doesn't matter how many stacks the Nasus has when he is dead. That's sort of the way I think about it.
Is that a Redacting quote? I think that might be.
I think so too. Well, Zeus up here towards the top side. King now with a fair bit of wave clear. Almost has his Trinity Force. Zeus, of course, has his. So he's feeling a whole lot better.
I love when he goes up, lands a W on Kingen, then he has to run back for the minions.
Yep.
But yeah, you can see with the gold leads, only Guma, who's a tiny bit behind, but considering he's been solo laning for such a long time, definitely fine with that situation.
He's also into the Gold King.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. But big lead top lane, and now they've moved Guma and Carrier mid. Won't really get a chance to hammer away any plates here, but I would actually love, if you look at the plates top, you have about 50 seconds left. Top tower is very low. Kingen is very low. You could easily have Zeus ult on a Kingen, ult follow up with Ziggs, and try and threaten that tower, but it looks like Lucid might be here first.
Yeah, Lucid just trying to set up for this one, seeing whether they can convince Zeus to use his ultimate before the Maokai gets on in there.
Yeah, I think probably not going to see any, you know, it's the best part of playing Ziggs, is the satchel on the tower when it's low.
Yep.
And I think that window is going to be missed unless, like, Guma TP's in right now, which it doesn't look like he's going to do, so.
These are some pretty healthy turrets.
Yeah, I
14 minutes into the game.
The top one was the one I was looking at, but D+ are actually moving pretty heavily to defend against this. I mean, Herald is coming up as well, but yeah, Guma won't get the opportunity. 14 minutes going to tick over, so even though it's a good game state for T1, and as I said, D+ wanted the mid-game advantage, the lead isn't as big as maybe it could have been if T1 found some of those towers like D+ did last game.
Yeah, not exactly passing the Ziggs test, as it were. Of course, some people think that the Ziggs test is a little bit more valuable than others. My favorite thing about Ziggs is that it means that LCS fans know a lot more than the rest of the world. True. Just because they have APA,
and he is certified.
He's been the Ziggs guy for forever.
He gets it. He gets it. You know, huge respect to him.
Yeah.
Big pioneer. But now TP coming in. Faker's not here yet.
Yep, Cannon Barrage is going to be used just to try and zone them away. That is a lot of damage onto Lucid into that backline. He tries to keep himself alive. Is now Carrier possibly in trouble. The Ziggs is already dead, but it's a smorgasbord for Faker if he gets over here. Still, they've taken down the Camille, and T1 are on the run. So a 2-for-1 in favor of D+ actually in the end.
The Camille shutdown coming through, and the setup was just really rough for T1. It's like they're posturing for a fight, but they weren't ready, and D+ absolutely were. They take it first.
Oh, was that shutdown gold over to Kingen as well?
No, Kingen got Guma.
Okay.
So presumably it's Showmaker who's the only other kill who got that. So
still not great.
T1 on the Baron, the Herald, but look at the map. Faker's not here, and then he TPs to the mid tower because there's nothing closer. Guma just gets caught out, immediately gone, and yes, Zeus kills Lucid, but now he's just getting chased down by Aiming and Showmaker. And here's the thing, Aiming's the Gold King, but Showmaker wants to stack, so he takes the kill.
Yeah, you love to see it.
But ultimately, a bit of a fumble there from T1. They still have a lead, they're still in an okay spot, but definitely not how they envisioned that play going.
And it's when you see the team fights not necessarily as coordinated, you start to get a little bit worried that this is the T1 that we saw in the previous series and not the one that could potentially be challenging
and even
Gen G.
The previous game, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, so still
I don't count red side games. I just don't. Because this is, of course, a bit of a must-win for T1 in this series. They wanted to try and utilize a lot of their more eclectic comps to try and steal a win on the red side. These blue side games should be wins.
Yeah, it's you know, we talk about it a lot being like serving in tennis, where you're supposed to win the games that you're serving, and then on the other side you're trying to break the serve, which if you get it, great advantage, but obviously it's quite hard to do. So T1 made that attempt game one, they failed, that's fine, they have more chances, but when it is their serve, or in this situation they have side selection, they really need the win or the series gets very difficult. Now, D+ are set up for Baron, and they have a lot of vision control in the area. Moham doing a pretty good job sweeping this out. And T1, I feel like they want Zeus here if they're going to contest this. They do look like they might be trying to threaten the mid wave instead.
We do know that Kingen can still threaten with the Cannon Barrage. Doesn't have a lot of ability to deny teleports outside of killing Zeus.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world if T1 don't get this dragon, but it would be such a huge boon if they did. The threat becomes so massive for the rest of the game. Infernal on Ziggs and Corki is absurd. So Zeus has prio, but it feels like his goal is kind of being keep Kingen trapped rather than move myself. But he is now moving away. There's no great wards for him to TP onto any flanks. D+ have done a fantastic job of ensuring that isn't the case.
Not to mention that, like, it's all of the Trinity forces are done. There's 5 of them in this game.
They're going to trade. It looks like the decision's coming out here from T1. They're moving Ona to the top side and saying, look, we're going to take this top tower. Kingen has a fantastic read. You can see Lucid senses there's no opposition, goes for the dragon. And in return, Kingen also backs off. So yes, the T1 will get a tower here, but D+.
Oh, D+ might be able to get more. The teleport is coming in as Depth Charge comes out. That's a good flash from Faker to avoid the hook. Showmaker taking a lot of damage though as Zeus looking to get in here. It's looking better for T1 than maybe we were expecting. And Mega Inferno Bomb confirms it. Moham now in trouble as well. He's going to go down. Gumayusi gets shot by the pistol. And Lucid, oh, that Bramble Smash was gorgeous. But Keria still in an awkward position. Leandri's going to be able to finish him off. And now Faker possibly caught out as well. This tree is real dangerous, and it was looking so dicey. Oh, the barrel, not quite enough there from Kingen, just mistimed it. As now Faker gonna get punched back. Lucid, possibly in trouble. Another parlay will need to be there, and there it is. The double kill for the Gangplank.
Kingen, an absolute monster in these fights. Second fight in a row, he has found Guma and just taken him down. Aiming's gonna get the mid tower on his own. A huge win for D+ in this situation. You know, T1 thought they'd found the wanting.
The Gold King, man, just like hanging out, killing turrets, killing minions, and the rest of the team just playing in the mud.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, T1 were willing to give up the dragon, but they thought that D+ had overstepped, and for a moment it looked like they did, but things backfired so quickly, so massively. And this Gangplank, so elevated already. As you said, 5 Triforces in this game, a lot of spikes coming through, and D+ really leaning on those in this mid game.
Yep, Showmaker almost towards his Frozen Heart as well. And it doesn't get better, it gets worse before it gets better for T1 against this composition. We have a look at the start. Good flash from Faker to start this one off. And for T1, it was looking really good at the beginning. Yeah,
the problem is, you know, they don't manage to take out Kingen. It's actually ulting the Nasus to kill him, and Kingen just charges Guma and takes him out. I think a mistake Guma is making, you know, we've talked about him maybe not being super comfortable in the Ziggs. You need your W. You need to keep it defensively, because it's the second time Kingen has gotten on you, and he doesn't have a dash. If a melee champion without a dash is getting on top of you, you're making a mistake. Lucid also flawless with that Bramble Splash. They are not looking for him.
Yeah, Lucid now in trouble, down to about 50% here as Hextech Ultimatum does come in. Mega Inferno Bomb now that he's held in position, and they're able to take down the tree. Showmaker getting here, but a little bit too late, as him and Aiming are going to be able to get rid of Shelly. So T1 able to find a pick onto the jungler. Definitely good news. But with the gold even, I don't think it's quite enough just yet.
Yeah, it's not too consequential. You can see recalls are coming through afterwards. It's not like they get mid-tower. They didn't bin any sums. They're not getting a dragon yet. So it's a nice pick, don't get me wrong. And it shows the potential of the composition. It's not going to really mean anything more right now. You can see D+ trying to stack their Triforce users bot lane. This tower's going to go quickly.
Yeah, Ona's going to turn up, but Moham's right here, was just behind him as there is the flash over the wall, but Aiming's going to turn up. And Ona is just trying his best to escape. He should be able to do so. Keria is going to be in there. Arcane Shift over the wall. Not going to find too much more as now Faker finds an opportunity now to push down towards this inner turret towards the top lane. And Lucid, he's going to arrive. And there's a Twisted Advance to start this one up.
You know, it's a Leandri's Maokai. I'm not sure you can get the solo kill. He does actually a lot more damage than you think, but maybe not that much.
Faker does a lot of damage as well because he has no defensive stats whatsoever, as Lucid is now going to try and turn it as best he can. Oh! It is going to be the kill going over to Faker, but they trade it back with Aiming collecting one as well. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Susan not having a great time. As we can see, T1 able to trade up.
Some strange passage of plays there, back and forth.
Ooh,
And
flash.
again, Guma satcheling the tower, doesn't have it to disengage, does get the tower, but has to burn that summoner spell. It's a minute 10 on Dragon. We've seen just rapid back and forth, you know. We've seen some slower series in playoffs, slower games. Oh no, Ona will not save.
No, he's on a ward. Zay's going to turn up there as well, and the rest of the team are here to back him up. Maybe it was just a bait the whole time, but a cannon barrage comes in. True shot barrage down as well. And it is still the Camille grabbing the kill, aiming in trouble. Permafrost is down, and there's a double for the top laner of T1. 8-2 now for Zeus on this Camille.
Great bait from Ona there. The whole team go on to him, but he's a Sejuani. The team of T1 are there for follow-up. And they're starting to move towards Baron. They're actually TPs coming in from Guma and Zeus. They want Baron now.
Okay, that might be a dangerous maneuver, as they are on vision right now.
I think aiming has no TP, Kingen does, but there's no cannon barrage. They might just turn for kills. Zeus has flash and might find something. We'll have to see what they do.
Yep, Moham at 50% health right now. Not taking very much damage though. That is going to be the Nature's Grasp coming out. Oh, Lucid sidesteps the ulti, wants to try and get in there. Twisted advance, does get him through. It's going to be a 50-50 hit, stolen by Lucid. Zeus could be in trouble as well, as Moham's getting back in there, flashes out of the way of the Mega Inferno Bomb. And the turn from Showmaker not quite enough here, as Ona down so low. Trial by fire wasn't quite in there, but there's the parlay to lock it down. Another hook. Moham, the god, is able to take down Zeus before he can kill the pirate. And aiming finally teleports in, but it's all over, dude.
T1 Barons, they live and die by them. They get over Zealous and Lucid. He has been so clutch on smites this entire season. It's not a 50-50 when he's about, and he holds his nerve. Ona doesn't, and they end up getting rewarded. So here, Ona's recalling this position, but the pings are coming out, so they're aware. They set this up as a trap. You can see the pings. The engage comes through, and with the Camille and the Ziggs AoE damage, the front line gets mangled. Aiming does create some space, but gets chased down. So this is a fantastic play, and T1 go right. We've done enough, we can stop Baron. But the thing is, the ult from Ona misses Lucid, so he's able to get in the pit, and they start to focus Lucid down, but the Baron's nowhere near death when Ona smites, but he gets nervous. 1.6k, he smites, and he gives the opportunity over. He's scared of the AoE getting a low end, and here Kingen TP'd in, ready to fight, and the damage he does here, combined with Moham's clutch hugs, is just massive.
Yeah, and we saw actually in DK's previous series, there were some Gangplank bans coming through. I think we're starting to see why. The barrel chains are just connecting for Kingen. Making things happen as Zeus, going to face check. Some more barrels do go down as Nature's Grasp coming out. See whether Zeus can outrange it, and the answer is no, but it doesn't really matter. Still able to create enough distance.
The Maokai being down is pretty big, actually, and it's given space for T1 to move in, contest vision around this Banana Barrage, so now D+ will TP in the Nasus, who's fully healed.
Cannon Barrage still up, and oh man, they are not wanting to try and fight this one. Eating a lot of time on this Baron, though, as we can see. And a bit of a wraparound now coming through. True Shot Barrage just get Banana Vision as now Zeus on that blast cone looking for the angle. King the Pulverize onto 4! And T1 are looking to eviscerate them. Carrier trying to make his way out. He is so incredibly low. The Dragon going to be secured here by Faker. Zeus just looking to try and escape. The health bars getting lower and lower as Lucid will be able to get out of there. Somehow it is only 1 kill onto Moham, but T1 do secure Soul Point.
Some insane damage coming out from both sides. It feels like even the tankier members are getting just exploded. Very dangerous, but a clutch combo from Carrier there allows T1 to get the advantage. We see the setup here. Zeus wrapping around on the flank unspotted is such a dangerous threat. But it's not him that really finds the angle. Guma ends up throwing the ult in. That hits multiple people as the combo comes through from Carrier. They pick off the Nautilus, but then the Alistair's too below. They start to disengage. Zeus ult Showmaker to trap him, but with the Steric Shield keeps them healthy to get him out. They just don't really have enough to continue in this fight, so D+ will disengage. But T1 now on Soul Point, and that Ziggs. You nearly got Rabadons. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, crap.
This is, it's
T1 D+.
Yeah, it's looking pretty topographical. I guess that only means that we're just talking about what the landscape looks like. It is pretty up and down. This is not the Netherlands, let's just say that. You know, it's hilly.
And man, the damage I mean, I feel like some games you're at this point in the game, and like the highest damage in the game is like 13,000.
Yeah.
That's like 7th in this game.
The damage per gold stat is getting inflated in this one because there's a lot of fighting.
Oh, absolutely is. And a lot of kills as well. It has been a very bloodthirsty game. Now, T1 looking to try and secure this tier 2 top. It is very low. We won't get chunked, but it's going to be like an auto from Faker and a satchel one's gone.
Oh, there is a hook, and there is the turret going down. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in. Faker in trouble, though, and that is somehow aiming getting that kill. Throws out a carefree Mystic Shot. Now they're looking for even more. Lucid moving in. The satchel does come out. The flash is enough to outrange it as the permafrost comes on through, but Lucid's just happy to eat the CC. And aiming, still hunting, still looking for them. Another satchel, but there's the flash twisted advance. And Gumayushi going to get eaten by the Ezreal. He's able to chase them all down as well. The minion wave getting in the way, but it's the hook from Moham. It comes in, and they're going to take an inner turret of their own after wiping out 3.
They have so much damage, they might actually push for an end here. Zeus might need to come back. Faker's up in 10 seconds, sure, but there is a lot of tower damage available, and D+ are healthy.
Yep, the inhibitor is going to go down. Teleport to come in from Zeus, like you were talking about. He was able to at least get the inner, as that hook is going to miss this time. Not quite enough members for Zeus to really commit onto 5. So he is just going to move up the mid lane after they deal with the minion wave. But T1 losing that top inhibitor could be really rough in this fight for Dragon in 2 minutes. Next fight, though, going to be in 45 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Teleport, big flank there.
Oh, no,
As Ona possibly out of position here. The hook is going to draw him back. Mega Inferno Bomb lands onto 4, which is gigantic damage. And the flanking Ziggs. The flanking Ziggs. Okay, he's throwing down minefields, bouncing bombs, things like that. He's trying to keep them in position as Lucid. He's the one kind of happy to tank, I guess. And now the barrel chain not quite going to work out. Double pulverized to come through from Carrier as Showmaker presses the Fury, the Sands button. And now the Nature's Grasp does come out. Carrier still trying to tank this one up, though, and we've got lots of trades of ultimates all over the place, and the barrels are really starting to hurt. In goes Zeus, though. He finds King, and the Pirate is going to fall down, and now Faker with another very aggressive Valkyrie. He's going to help lock down Moham. It's a triple kill now. Make it a quadra as Amy can't do anything. And Zeus says, not on my watch, D+. Lucid might just be a pentakill waiting underneath the turret. We'll see whether Lucid's going to actually fall down or not as he pushes Zeus back and says, no penta. Not that far, okay, sir.
Yeah, tries to find it, but won't with his Ziggs here. They take the towers so fast. Only Lucid up. Moham in 10. The wave's coming in. I think this is game for T1. They managed to punish D+.
Yep, we saw it for D+ just a few seconds ago. And now T1 say, oh, this is how you win the game. You just push through the base and take down an Nexus. Well, that's precisely what they're going to do. Moham, he's going to be golden in the end, but he will be also taken down. The Pirate gets in the picture, but that is not going to be enough to win them the game. A 1-1 now in this best of 5.
And I swear, if I have to see Zeus on blind Cassante again this series,
oh god, yeah.
Masterclass on Camille. Absolutely took over the game. The engages are flawless. Such a phenomenal performance. I want this Zeus, right? Draft for him, play for him. He completely took over that one. And D+, put up a good fight. You know, they really showed some issues that T1 still had despite a strong draft. But an overstep at the end is punished, and the ruthlessness of the TPs from T1, the flanking Ziggs, the fligs comes in.
The flanking Ziggs. I don't know whether that was necessarily a game-winning move. However, they did win the game after they made that move. So, I don't know, your move. T1, a lot of damage on their Ziggs here. 37k, my god.
And you know, if you compare to when we had Cassante Viscano in the top lane, all the lane swaps we've had this year, no lane swaps, both top laners on cool champions, Camille against TP, and both of them popped off. This is what we want, please.
You'll love to see it. Let's hope that we get it in game number 3 as well. It is all tied up here. Best of 3 from here on out. It is now time for us to go to a short break. When we get back, the space is going to break it down, then we'll have game number 3. We'll see you there.
천천히.
나의 뒤 막을 수 있어. 뒤 막을 수
저
있어.
마우 노틸 노플이야. 천천히 해, 천천히.
우리 끌리는 거 조심.
마우 노틸 노플. 내가 앞장 서줄게.
포킹 각은 나와. 천천히 해봐. 천천히.
나 03초.
여기. 앞에 박아놨고.
나안 죽어, 나안 죽어.
천천히. 오케이, 마구.
나 괜찮아.
천천히 봐봐. 천천히.
얘네 공다 빠졌거든? 야, 나도 뒤로 갈게.
나 2초, 2초. 우리 암레만 조심.
나 갈 수 있나? 와줄래?
나 가는 중.
너 세약이야?
갱플 올게.
나가자.
맞아.
펜타.
가야 돼.
가야 돼.
천천히 해봐. 해봐.
펜타 바로 쳐야 돼, 우리.
이거 바텀